Okay, Drew. So I've brought up many different sports into my story time specials. The obvious mainstreams like football and basketball. Some of the lesser ones, maybe I won't say soccer is the lesser one, but soccer, a little bit of floor hockey, just gym sports. I even brought up boxing last time. But we're gonna bring introduce a new sport into the top of the standing story time special, and that sport is bowling.
Oh, so not mini golf.
Not yet. Um, but man, bowling, and it's funny because I'm bringing up this story because this was on my birthday 2 years ago when I turned 16, and I was going bowling for my birthday party, and I had this one experience, this one play, this one bowl that defined the whole night. And it wasn't even a game winner, but it was so iconic. It was absolutely insane. And you know what? You know how you always like to bring up memorabilia, Drew?
Oh,
You know how I like to bring up memorabilia? I got memorabilia of my own.
uh
I'm
oh.
gonna go get in my closet. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying? This is the big boy closet right
okay.
here.
Big boy
Where I keep
closet. Very tall closet.
all my Oh yeah. Very big and spacious, right?
Okay.
Very big. And you know what, Drew? I got myself a so my mom made me sports jerseys
Oh,
for my birthday. Custom made.
custom made.
Yeah, custom made. It was actually not bad. Um it's actually not bad, man. Um there we go.
Oh,
As
nice,
do behind all the shirts.
nice.
So this was actually, as you can plain as day tell, because it's not the number 10, that it was for my 16th birthday.
Makes
And
sense.
obviously, this was a surprise, so I couldn't tell my mom. Put 10 on the back of it, please.
If she put 10, then people would have thought you're turning 10.
Well, I mean, see, the thing is, she actually coordinated this pretty well because there's four members that I live with. There's me, my mom, my dad, and my sister. And she made four different jerseys, and everybody got four different numbers. I got 16 because I was turning 16, and then the other three got an 01 because I was born on January, an 11 because I was born on the 11th, and an 03 because I was born in 2003.
That is actually
So
very creative.
yeah, very creative, and I'm just like, oh wow. And then the name on the jersey was the freaking Jotham City Strikers, which that's actually not pretty bad.
No,
That's not bad at all.
if this was like Gotham City and Batman, that'd be like a perfect name for like a whatever sport is in Gotham. Gotham City
Yeah, I know,
Strikers.
right? The Strikers.
Yeah, put that in the next Batman movie.
Yeah. Although I'll be a little more colorful, than that.
Hey, not a fan of
Um.
the color. What color would you have gone with?
Oh, without a question, blue.
Okay. Wait,
Without a
is
question.
that gray? It looked a little blue.
That's like a grayish, a
Okay.
more grayish blue.
Okay.
It's it's decent,
Okay.
but yeah, wore that shirt, went bowling, and had obviously had the crew come in, and I have a play uncle who really likes to run his mouth sometimes, in good ways most of the time. But there was this one instance where you know how like when you go bowling, you get like two games, and then and you have like a time limit for bowling.
Sure.
So I was in the middle of like my second game, and usually in bowling, I think I average like maybe 140, maybe a score of 140 or something like that.
Not bad.
Yeah, not too bad. I'm not bad. I'm not that bad of a bowler. I would definitely love to go head to head with somebody again. Um, but my play uncle, and this was so hilarious because my mom had no idea about it until I told her after the party. So there were these professional bowlers bowling in the lane to my left, right?
Okay.
Professional bowlers battling for money and some type of trophy. or something.
It
Competitive.
real quick. It's interesting seeing that like things like ESPN and Fox Sports actually like have those tournaments and like televised bowling like competitions.
I know, right? It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not all that exciting because of just rolling a ball and
Yeah,
knocking down.
it's gonna be the same thing every single roll. Like it's there's nothing too out of the ordinary is gonna happen.
Yeah, usually they both strikes.
Yeah,
Um, because they're pros.
yeah. You know
Now,
who's a pro? That's interesting. Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. Oh yeah, I know CP3. He likes to bowl sometimes. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I seen him with Taylor Rooks and
Okay,
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander when they went bowling together. It was hilarious. I think somebody had to do push-ups because they lost.
that's funny. Yeah, Chris Paul.
Yeah.
He's nice with it. He is nice with bowling.
Oh yeah. He's Chris Paul can do a lot of things. He's like the athletic me. It's just like dude does everything. He's the president of the NBPA and all-star point guard for so many years, very consistent, pretty really good. I think he could be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%. Needs to get a
and
ring though.
uh, hopefully he does that in Phoenix.
That would be
That would be
crazy.
great. But um, so the competitive bowlers to the left of me, right? So I got agitated because I had to wait for them to get their roll in before I get my next roll. And so I would stand there and watch them take their time and like do all this analyzing. And I'm just like, would you busters hurry up and roll the ball? My gosh. And then I look at them throw the ball at warp speed, 20 miles an hour or something like that, and it curve and it hit the pins. And I'll just have to be like, sheesh. My goodness.
They're getting the wind speed and they gotta do.
Yeah.
Wind's going this way, so if I, it's like playing Wii bowling.
Yeah. It's like pinpoint precision.
Yep.
Okay. Where it's almost like physics combined with just sheer
If
power.
I throw it here, it could easily bounce off the right, which could make a calculation to the left, which could then curve and then get a strike. Like, come on, I'm just trying to throw the ball, I'm trying to roll
Yeah.
it.
Like just let me I'm just like, bro, just let me roll. And that was my mindset. I really did. I mean, obviously, I was casual because I wasn't playing for money. But dude, I was agitated. And it was all game long. And the thing about it was we had reached like the fifth or sixth frame, right? And this is where the story really kicks up rapidly. So my play uncle, he goes up to one of the bowlers and one of the women that was bowling, and I'm looking at him like, oh boy, and he's like, he's talking trash, and I'm thinking, oh boy, I can see. I thought I saw it on the look on that woman's face. She was like, oh really, and and then he pointed to me after I had bowled and I knocked down like four pins, and I'm just like, yeah. And dude, you want to know what he said to that woman, bro?
What did
He
he
told her that I could go toe to toe with her.
say? Put you on the spot.
He pointed to he pointed to me. He's like, that boy right there, he could take you on. I'm just looking up and I'm just like, what is wrong with you? And then he pulled me over. He said, hey yo, Jotham, he told me that he talked this stuff. And I was like, what is wrong? What were you thinking? I would have understood if he said that he was gonna smoke him. But did you really? He really put his chips on a 16-year-old kid, a kid that is just now turning 16, against a a grown woman that is playing for money right now.
Turned into your agent, your manager.
Apparently, and so the thing was, whoever knocked down more pins would, win. It was like a one frame challenge, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay. And she's like, let's see what you got, young fella. And it was, I don't know why, but she was going first, ladies first. And she bowled a strike as I expected. And then she's like, now it's your turn. And my play uncle was like, come on, Jotham. And I'm just like, jeez, I gotta bowl this strike. I gotta bowl this strike for Don. I had not bowled a strike all night, I believe, and I definitely didn't bowl a strike all that game. And I'm just sitting here with the ball in my hand. For once, I'm actually going slow, actually trying,
Calculating.
calculating, not necessarily putting any spin on the ball. My focus was down the middle, a little bit to the left or to the right, just to knock down all the pins. Because the last thing I wanted was a 7-10 split. That is the last thing that I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I went ahead and picked up my bowling ball, and I'm just like, okay, so I got to do this. Keep in mind, my mom knows nothing about what's going on. Like she knew he was talking, but she didn't know exactly what he was saying to her and what was going on, and she didn't know how big this role was for me. And dude, I stepped up, I walked up, I ran up, and I rolled that ball, and I'm looking at it, and I was thinking, okay, that thing is online, right down the middle, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, right where I want it, because I learned really, how to bowl from a game called Brunswick Pro Bowling for the PS2. That's what really kicked in my bowling analysis and the physics of bowling and stuff
Mm.
like that. So I'm looking at the roll. I'm like, well, that looks good. Kind of like how a batter looks at a fly ball when he thinks it's going to be a home run. And so I'm like, it's going, and
Israel
dude,
for three.
bang!
Bang.
And so when I rolled the ball, I rolled it pretty fast. It was pretty fast. Like I think it was like 15 miles an hour. Um, and I put I took some mustard off of it because I was rolling really hard earlier, and I'm just like, I'm being less accurate when I'm rolling harder. So I just took a little mustard off of it. I rolled it, and bro, as soon as that ball hit the ground, everybody was like, "Uh-oh, wait, whoa, whoa!" Everybody was getting hyped. They're like, "Oh," kind of like, just getting hyped for a second. And dude, I ended up bowling a strike.
Hey, bang.
Bang! Jotham for
Bang.
10. Bang!
Bang.
Strike! Jotham Israel with just a masterful strike.
Bang. Bang.
Man, that deserves 10 bangs.
Yeah.
And I was just, and bro, like I said, Don put me on the spot. And you know what? I had to come up clutch.
Hey, I respect it. I respect the clutchness. How can you not?
Yeah, had to put on the cape, man, because he put me on the spot. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit shook because of his cockiness and the overly insane amount of faith he put in me in that situation against that woman. But you know what? When I bowled that strike, I saw the pins knocked down, and I walked back and I stared down the woman. I was like, and I just raised, put my arms out like, yo.
Dude,
And I was, and she couldn't help but drop her jaw.
dude, I kind of feel the same way. I don't know what it is about bowling, but you kind of have to show up after you get like a strike. Like, I know where you're coming from because after I get a strike, I kind of do like a little mean mug.
Yeah, celebration. Yeah, that's a good thing about bowling. It may not be as fun to watch bowling as it is to actually bowl, but you know what, man? When you get to celebrate, oh, that's when stuff really gets good, man.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, and I was hyped. Me and my homies, because the homies knew what was at stake. And I was just lit. I was lit. I'm like, let's go. I think that turned out to be the only strike I bowled that
Oh,
night. Maybe I forget the scores. I mean I bowled so many times I forget how well I did on what night.
oh yeah. I couldn't even tell you how well I do.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I was like, let's freaking go. And then I sat down, waited my turn, for other people, but my mind was always on that moment right there. My play uncle put me on the spot, and unbelievably, I showed up and proved him right. he acted like I dabbed him up. He was like, "Let's go, man." He it's looking like player coach when the player hits a game winner or something.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, dude. And you know what? Meanwhile, the Minneapolis Miracle is happening. No, actually, that was the Eagles Saints divisional game. My bad.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That was Eagles Saints because I came back home from Dave and Buster's the year before to the Minneapolis Miracle in 2018 when I turned 15. This is 16. And in 2019, that's when the Eagles Saints game happened because that's when the Bears made the playoffs. I remember Eagles that run.
I remember it well too. I know where I was at when that was going on.
Yeah. And you know what? I was up to bowl and it was about to be the 2 minute warning and I was ready to bowl. But I was like, let me see this one last play before 2 minute warning before I go up the bowl. And then obviously Alshon Jeffrey drops the ball, Marshawn Lattimore interception, and it's Lattimore. And it's just like, are you kidding me? Alshon Jeffrey really just choked that. And it was so tough. And, obviously, I got a whole lot of Bears fans behind me because, well, hometown, stuff
Yeah.
like that. And so my mom was like, that's what y'all get. That's what y'all get. Because obviously people in Chicago are rooting against the Eagles because the Eagles beat the Bears. So it's automatically root against the Eagles.
Oh, I remember clearly, and I I picked the Eagles to beat the Bears. I also picked them to beat the Saints. So I almost pulled it off.
Yeah, it should have happened twice.
I should have.
That should have happened, man. It should have been. But hey, it was what it was. So not only did I have a great bowling moment, but I had to do it during a great game,
Hey,
a great playoff game.
that's kind of what our stories have been. Some wild moments with like things going on in the background. Last week, I talked about I went to the Cotton Bowl, came home and saw Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, famous Jameis Winston fumble in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, yeah, and another funny thing is that when I was on the way home, and I told my mom about that strike because I was still juiced up about that strike,
Mhm.
obviously, and I was like, "Mom, did you see that?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm proud of you, this and that." I'm like, "Man, Don really put me on the spot." And that she's like, "What?" I'm like, "You didn't hear what Don said?" She's like, "No." I said, "Oh, Don told this woman that I would be able to go toe to toe, blow for blow, or something like that with her." She's like, "What?" And I mean, she was wondering why everybody was so hyped when I bowled the strike. I mean, we were getting hyped. We were getting extreme. It was lit. Like I was lit.
Sound like you won the Super Bowl.
And yeah, because I mean, the stakes were high. The stakes were higher. I mean, I was put on the spot against an opponent. I actually had an opponent, a meaningful opponent. My friends, they were, they're cool, what I'm saying, but I don't have beef with them because they're my friends. But
Of
this
course.
random woman that, is a professional bowler, oh yeah, I want to show up and show out against her. You
Hey,
know that.
hey, I get that. I get that for sure.
Yeah, dude. After that strike, I wanted all the smoke from her because I matched her. I actually did match her, and I mean, I couldn't believe I did it, but you know, and I'm pretty sure my play uncle was just absolutely just shivering before I even stepped foot on the freaking wood because it was just like if I like imagine if I rolled a gutter ball, it would have been so anticlimactic. It just would have
That
been
almost would have been almost more funny. Lead up to this big moment, and then you throw a gutter ball.
oh man. I imagine all the crap that woman would have been talking to my play uncle, and it would have been
Rightfully
so
so.
dude, rightfully so too. He took a heck of a risk by talking all that crap. Because if I bowled anything less than a strike,
Game over.
now imagine if she didn't bowl a strike after I bowled that strike.
Oh, that would have been even more crazy.
Oh yeah, I would have. Yeah, I probably would have walked over there and taunted her.
You would have had to do the
The
almost.
McGregor.
That's what I was gonna say at first, but you might have had to do the Damian Lillard.
Oh, the wave. Oh man. See, that wasn't that. I was 3 months late, man.
Yeah.
3 months early, I should say. But yeah, that would have been too swaggy. That it was already a swaggy enough moment as it was. I mean, I've had some pretty swaggy moments in these sports in these story time specials. I mean, it's pretty much a common theme where I'm put in a position and I'm basically forced to have a sense of swagger to my game or whatever I'm doing.
Dude, hey, that reminds me of my home run, and I had to eat.
Yeah,
I had to eat.
nom nom nom.
Dude, we're clutch,
Yeah,
and we know how to celebrate.
yeah, dude, that's insane. If I were in the NHL, like I am now, no, I'm just playing.
Okay, yeah, me
But
too.
I'd absolutely be the master of the celly.
I respect it. Hey, I like celebrations.
Yeah, dude, I'd be celebrating on the ice like I would celebrate on the football field. I will get excessive. Oh yeah,
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number
on
10.
the bench,
Number
not
10.
me.
Number 10.
I'm sorry, I did not sweat. But yeah, dude. Bottom line, moral of the story is that sometimes when people call upon you, sometimes you got to answer the call, man. Because if you don't, everybody's screwed.
Remember that, kids.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely remember this was the legend of the Jotham City Striker. End of story.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. I that was absolutely. I mean, that's one of my most memorable stories. It's probably my most underrated story.
Yeah, bowling. You don't really expect much coming from that.
Yeah, not only that, but it's a very underrated moment, even amongst the people that that witnessed it live.
Yeah,
Because it's like I've had so many moments that were so good, but that doesn't get enough recognition in my opinion. That was so just classic. I wish somebody had recorded it. Um, I really do because I mean I remember that moment like nobody else because obviously I was the one that
yeah,
did it. But man, just I mean the clutchness, the what was at stake. That was probably my most high stakes situation that I've had on the Storytime special.
yeah.
That
Hey,
that was definitely you
pure
know
clutch.
yes, and I mean when I need to be sometimes I answer the call. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not always clutch, but you know what? When I am, it's memorable. It definitely is memorable.
Ice in the veins.
Oh yeah, and yeah, dude, that's another sport that we just involved into the story time special, man. Yeah, you probably didn't expect bowling out of all sports, but that's exactly that's basically the theme. Expect the unexpected.
Exactly. I definitely need to pull out some more interesting sports. I don't know. I haven't played that many like interesting sports. I don't know. I gotta think. You know how I am with this. Some things just come to me, and all of a sudden, I actually. Speaking of this, I got an idea. I got an idea. Not for next week, maybe 3 weeks. But yeah. Hey, maybe I'll have to do some digging of my own.
Yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see about that, man. But yeah, dude, I think this happened almost 2 years ago to this day. I mean, obviously my birthday's pretty close. Um, and that happened on the 13th and Storytime special 14th, so it's not that far off, obviously. But yeah, that I mean, still pretty insane when you think about it. Really,
Yeah, 100
back
percent.
back when we could go bowling and not worry about sanitization like we do now.
Crazy how things have changed.
So tough. We might have to bowl with latex gloves from now on. Who knows?
Dude, that reminds me of like a spitball. I'm sure that there was such thing, how in baseball there'd be I think it was banned, but there used to be a thing called the spitball. I wonder if bowlers did that as well. Spitball.
Yeah, that just would be so wrong because it's like, dude, it's a bowling ball.
Hey,
It
you
that
need to
is that.
remember, you need to get the right trajectory on it.
Oh my gosh, get it real slicked up.
Yeah, so it can have the right curves and spin, whatever.
That is insane. It's also insane because I never understood the slick curves on different woods. It's like there's a different slick, a different type of spin for every type of bowling real wood. I had never knew about. I just saw a straight line of wood.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Yeah, guys, that's my story time special. The legendary Jotham City Striker. Yeah, that is absolutely one of my best story times. I enjoyed telling it. I had a blast. A lot of things were going on.
Oh yeah.
Playoffs, high stakes, you know. And you know what? Stay tuned next week. Drew gonna bring some more heat as he always does for what the this is story time special number 19 to 20
820.
episodes. Wow. We gonna reach 20 episodes. Talk about a successful spinoff. Well, guys, if you enjoy the Storytime special, give us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star rating on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever you're using to listen to Top of the Standings. Give us that like, comment, subscribe on YouTube if you're watching there. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You know, the big three. We'll see you guys next week for the Storytime special number 20. Ed Reed would be proud. Peace.